Hello, I am Chylli from Channel Chylli, also known as Try, and we are back with more Limbus Company. Last time we left off, we got halfway through the LCB checkup event. And this time, we're going to be continuing where we left off, at Stage 8. Defeat the enemies before they self-detonate. That sounds like it might be a bit rough. This time I'm gonna remember to put on my ego. Try something like that, maybe. Next up is goulet, gluttony. Invasive plants dig through the dirt in search of nutrients. What distinguishes them is, however, that they are not satisfied with satiation alone. The roots continue to grow, seeking increasingly greater amounts of nutrients. Hang on a minute, what's this? Heathcliff, after flipping through a few more pages ahead, looked up at Hohenheim and shouted, "Are we really going to do this song and dance for each and every one of these Pecatulum? Why don't we lump them together like how you've paired up us sinners?" Running low on patience already? Only simpletons would make such a basic suggestion. It's standard protocol, in case you weren't aware. I'm also unhappy with this process, but sometimes you must swallow up our complaints and do as we're told for the sake of proper test results. You make a valid proposition. What? Very well. I also fail to see the necessity in fighting these Pecatula one by one, especially given the busy schedule ahead of us. Your suggestion is accepted, Assistant. What? Really? Aren't you the one who suggested it? If we don't have to fight them one by one anyway, why didn't we do this from the start? Because testing them one by one yields a more accurate result. Studies suggest that the margin of error may grow by 0.06% when testing multiple entities at once. I see, but I see the benefits of a smaller margin of error outweighs the convenience of lumping them all together. Why don't we proceed as planned? Bloody hell, just let it go, yeah? Yeah, Otis, come on. This very carelessness is why I think we can risk a 0.06% greater margin of error, right? Indeed, it is sometimes necessary to prioritize efficiency over the pursuit of perfection. I will abide by the executive manager's judgment. Very well, then allow me to explain Pecatula morositaceus bloom as well. Have you ever immersed yourself in deep waters? Quite easy to sink to the depths now. However, the deeper one sinks, the harder does it become to rise again. The pressure suffocates you from all directions, no matter how much you thrash around, desperately looking for something to grab onto. All you find is futility, such is gloom. I suppose one of the few benefits of working for this company is that its constant motion gives no time for such emotions to drag us down. Especially now that I have some level of confidence that they might actually keep their end of the contract. Oh, sounds like a disagreement's brewing. After all, I've joined the bus team. I still feel like I'm floundering deep in some ditch, you know? Even though I'm only here because I want to be here, but still. Are you sure you're in that ditch by choice? Maybe you just don't know how to rise to the surface again. I don't appreciate hearing that from someone who doesn't even know what I'm talking about. Well, it's all ready to go now, in you go. You too, assistant. You aren't exempt from the results. Or, sorry, from the test. What? Me too? Perfect timing. I've been getting a bit tired of all this mental exercise. Right then, let's wrap this up quick. Okay, let's see how this is gonna go. Long ass loading screen. Okay, so... Only the blue guys can self-detonate. So I think we might just have to... We just have to prioritize killing these guys as soon as possible. This first stage shouldn't be so bad. And there we go. Gotta prioritize killing these guys again. Alright, that's one of them basically dead. That's two of the ones that kill themselves dead. And here's the final one. I actually really like this one's design. Think that'll have to do. Okay, so far we're doing really good here. Still got 2 more turns until he self-detonates. And he is staggered. And dead, there we go. I really like that one's design. And the long ass loading screen. That's 8 out of the 12 sinners done.
피분수가 폭죽보다도 높이 솟아올랐어. 아니야, 이렇게 크게 웃으면 안 돼. 아름다움을 잃지 않게. 그리고
This one will have
제2권속으로서의 품위도
pride
잃지
and
않게
lust.
하자.
Do not take 10 plus hits for each identity. Do we just need something that rolls pretty high? Something like that.
바가지랑 거미 대가리 부드력 패러 간다.
Then we need a high roller for this too. Think I might go for these two.
해파. 누굴 팰지 내가 정한다.
Well, they weren't too much trouble. Next up's you two. Get in there. With Ryoshu? Let's do this, I guess. ST. What? He wants to switch teams. Really? Now? What's your problem this time, Ryoshu? Your dulled harpoon doesn't interest me. It's dulled so much that I doubt it can even impale that sickly nerd over there. I don't think she'll have much trouble impaling Hohenheim. I'd much rather watch that blood-fiend fight again. Thou speakest of me? It's quite the pickle. Boy, she wants to switch teams, is that alright? Of course not. You heard the man. Let's go. I'll admit that my harpoon's not as sharp as it used to be. And I'll admit that I've lost a bit of my edge since then. But we're all sailing on the same boat, so I'm not gonna hold you or anyone else back. I'm always ready to go back to razor sharpness when the need arises. I'm swapping you out as soon as you start making a fool of yourself. Wes, I thought I'd been clear on this. Switching teams ain't a thing. Decatulum Superbier. Pride. Hohenheim droned on as if the bickering sinners didn't exist in his world. Wheels, symbol of technology and the vector of humanity's ultimate pursuit. The wheel in its boundless pride rolls on in search of the perfect circle, something unconquered even by nature. Yet it remains uncaring for the flesh it rends, nor the grass it tramples in its path. Wasn't that just confidence, not pride? You can't get anything done by just sitting idly in place. One might even say that pride is but another name for overconfidence. It oft claims trailblazers are those who never tasted failure. Someone like you, Hohenheim? Well, that certainly is a perspective. Next up is Luxuriae. Lust. Moving on just like that, huh? The meaning of Decatulum Luxuriae Lust is not exactly what it says on the tin. A more illustrative description would say that it is, yes, an obsession to spread a fragment of what forms the self, a desire to propagate, to breed. Of course, there's more to this concept than just that. While the word itself may be subject to interpretations limited to the carnal understanding. To share one's knowledge, one's ideas, to invite others into gaining the understanding of a sliver of oneself, you seek to express that such things are lust as well. Not bad. I always appreciate these discussions with the learned. There never is any dead air. Admit it, Heathcliff. All of that flew right over your head, didn't it? Why even ask? Unnecessary. Shut up and get in there. Hey, let's see how this one goes. Damn it, one of these attacks is gonna make its way through, I think. Actually, we got it.
순식간에 끝내죠. 먹어치워라. 더 먹어치워라.
So far, so good.
순식간에 끝내죠. 한놈. 제가 묻었네요. 내 죄는 내가 알아서 처리한다. 대가리 딱 떼도 내 죄는 내가 알아서 처리한다. 내 죄는 내가 알아서 처리.
And there we go on to wave 2. Completely forgot what these guys actually looked like.
대가리 딱 떼도 아차!
This should completely stagger it.
거미 대가리 차! 대가리 딱 떼도
Try something like that, maybe.
아차! 제가 묻었네요. 보냈고
And I've taken 0 hits, so that's really good.
대가리 딱 보냈고
Oh, there wasn't even a third wave for that.
착각하지 마라. 해파 거태. 내 놈들 덕분에 내가 강해진 게 아니다. 내가 강하기에 내 놈들을 휘두른 거지.
Oh, and this one's entirely unknown. Oh no, it's Envy Pekatula. I hate Envy Pecatulum so much. If it's all gonna be our own people, maybe I shouldn't have all this ego equipped.
소재가 준비됐어. 이거 참 설레는구려.
Barely. Now is it time for young Yesong and I to face the test? The nature of our trial shall take the form as Pegatula and Vidya. I assume that we will all have first-hand experience with static shocks. Doth static shock have aught to do with envy? Anyone who's been subject to both static shock and the envy of others must know that the latter stings in the same manner as the former does. I ill comprehend thine explanations. Ah, I see. To explain in plainer example, Miss Don Quixote, you have always been fond of and held great respect for the illustrious colored fixers, am I right? Am I correct? Barely. I should be second to none were my passion for them to be measured. Now imagine yourself at a convention of sorts, in which the said illustrious colored fixers are holding an event to disseminate their autographs, and imagine that you are a part of the excited queue. Indeed, I have mentally placed myself there. Proceed. Yet in great misfortune, the event comes to a close, mere moments before you are about to receive your autograph. Alack for woe! Fate playeth such cruel jest on my pitiful soul. Now do imagine, what sort of emotion would you feel for the fellow fan who received the final autograph immediately before you were to receive yours, ere the chance was robbed? Well, 'twould be quite the jealousy burning within mine heart, a painfully tingling sensation in my— Oh! My, you certainly enjoy explaining things, don't you? I suppose all scholars are kindred spirits, after all. You two, quit the chinwag and get in there. Verily, then onwards to a new adventure. Then I shall follow. I'm right. Oh, never mind, it's not exact copies. Let me quit out really quick and re-equip our ego.
최악이요.
Alright, let's get back in there. Try something like that, maybe.
점 찍었네.
Oh, Oh, well, that wasn't good. Let's try that again.
최악이요.
This time I wanna...
소재는
Hang on.
이거 참 설레는구려.
That should fix my backup characters and whatever. Never mind, we don't get those. This is really not good. There we go. And we want Yusung to kill his copy here.
점 찍었네. 이제야 완성되었나?
And then we want Dawn to kill her copy now.
점 찍었네.
Okay, Dawn did really good here.
비뚤어졌구려. 이제야 완성되었나? 점 찍었네.
And there we go. That was very easy.
걸작을 자아냈나? 마에스트로님이 어떤 평가를 내려주실지 흥분이 가시지 않는구려.
And this time it's just one enemy? Oh, it's everyone except for Dawn? Then let us go for sinking, maybe?
애도의 시간이군.
The foundation that led to this disaster was laid by none other than Yi-san, whose only sin was making an innocent, tragically casual comment. Sometime after we ran our final tests. Please vacate the room, people. Cleanup coming through. Apologies, Miss Don Quixote has ought to... Prithee, avail me but a moment. The shoelaces upon Rocinante have come undone. What? How? I remember trying like 7 knots on your shoes. Yet were quite the hideous access. Sorry to be forced upon Roshinante. I have tied one of them once again in the shape of a ribbon. Yeah, the knots didn't look that great. Ribbons are cute. Oh boy. Yet one must begin to wonder about the consequences of Miss Don Quixote freeing her feet from Roshinante at her present state. Whatever art thou suggesting? Roshinante is none other than mine eternal steed, bound to me by fate itself. Then shall ever dare sever the bond betwixt us. It was a query based on Miss Faust, yet I appreciate your answer all the same. And Faust's reply was what set fire upon that rather combustible foundation. I cannot know. An obvious outcome, given that no relevant data has ever been collected. Well then, no time like the present to get collecting, huh? Good thing we're here in a lab too. Where else are we gonna get another chance to do that? Oh no, is Don Quixote the boss here? Or, well, not boss, but enemy? I imagine not boss. This course of action is highly inadvisable. Yeah, sounds like a bad time to me. I heard all kinds of horrible stuff happen on that train the moment her shoes came off. Sure did. But that was but an independent decision called by Roshinante itself due to certain extreme circumstances that had not to do with mine will. Well, you know. Potato, potato. I was already quite aware that the core of that individual may as well lie in her pair of running shoes. Beyond thee, thou shan't treat a person such as I like some useless shell. What if we slipped her shoes off and on again really quick? The standards here at the LCE department demand precise measurements. In other words, these tests would be meaningless if all we are measuring is a hollow shell. A hollow shell? We have indulged your predictable provocations enough, Hohenheim. It seems necessary to remind you that you have not yet received the full report on what transpired during that incident. In other words, you're risking the occurrence of an unexpected event. You concern yourself unnecessarily. The construction of my laboratory boasts a rather solid build. Not even abnormalities on the more powerful side of things can puncture holes in the walls. Oh, very well. I will not force your hand. However, due to your unwillingness, I am behooved to record as such in my research journal. Due to the concerned sinner's utterly terrified reaction at the prospect of having to remove her shoes, I must unfortunately leave only a half-complete test result here. Utterly terrified? Terrified? And for your information, these research reports are stored for at least a decade. Yes, we have possession of a full record of your plain cowardice for at least 10 years. Outcome in A. Reason: subject was too scared to participate. After much contemplation, I have come to conclude that dearest Roshinante deserveth a moment of respite as well. And I, Don Quixote, shall demonstrate before thee that Don Quixote is still Don Quixote in her core still, without Roshinante's assistance. Are you sure this is a good idea, Faust? Hohenheim, if your employment at Limbus Company ever comes to a unilateral termination, I suppose the cause will be rather apparent. Your highly irresponsible level of curiosity. Not a good idea. Got it. That would be my greatest honor as a researcher. Hey, if anything ever goes wrong, Yi-sung will be ready to slip those shoes right back on your feet at a moment's notice, okay? I shall be on the ready. Behold me not with such excessive anticipation, all. There shan't be any new revelations here. Don Quixote began to untie her shoes, seething. This 7-layered knot possesseth quite the difficulty. Young Ishmael, wherefore hast thou tied these cords with such unwavering tightness? I was hoping they'd be the last knot those shoelaces would ever tie. Of course. There we go. Rest thee well, Rocinante. For I... The sinners and I were all quite nervous, but none of us stepped forward to stop this experiment. Why didn't we stop this? Was it because we thought we knew removing Rocinante doesn't necessarily mean she'll be losing control? Because we saw its effects on the warp train and at La Mancha land? Or was it because we assumed that Rocinante was now just a disguise? And now that Don Quixote has accepted her past as Sancho, removing it wouldn't affect her psyche at all? Whichever was the case, it was a mistake to ignore that nagging feeling. These researchers don't know what facing Don Quixote, Sancho, the second kindred, is like. We do. Mother. Oh, Mother. Our existence is death in perpetuality. Complete us, heal our hunger. We pray unto you, fill us with the blood of humans, with the blood of humans. The teeming, shouting voices suddenly began to echo in my head. They're the voices of all the children he had embraced. Or perhaps this was the Bloodfing's instinct given voice, printed upon them at the moment of their birth. Proliferate this disease, embrace this unending hunger for blood, and propagate the family. So many voices, so much yearning, so much desire. Every single kindred that has ever existed in the past kneels before Don Quixote. Oh, dearest mother, as your children, when shall we be permitted to quench this thirst for blood? I must drink blood. I have to drink all the blood. All the blood that the family deserves to drink, I must. Dante, wake up! Ain't this a lot like the last time at that building, when the fire on their heads suddenly exploded? I gotta get a hold of myself. Thirst. My body can't even feel thirsty. This doesn't make any sense. I'm okay now. What did you see, Dante? If we want to bring Don Quixote back, we're gonna need to quench her thirst somehow. We need something to sate the combined thirst, the desire of every single kindred. That's not good. Do you keep any blood in here? Let's at least try to quench what's... Yeah, we have some blood samples if you need them. Damn it, have you been listening to what the executive manager's been saying? It's the combined thirst of every single kindred. A few blood samples ain't gonna do anything. You're gonna stay here and do nothing? Ain't this just a matter of getting her shoes back on? Right, Yi-sung, shoes. Get those shoes back on her feet. I cannot. A bizarre wall of pressure surrounds her. This is one luxury cig. Good flavor. I bought those luxury cigarettes with our last bonus pet. These readings are incredible. So much power, even in a state like this. For all intents and purposes, complete emaciation. What? You egged her on knowing this would happen? I had many outcomes in mind. Some were quite similar to this, but this is beyond even the most extreme of my predictions. How the fuck are you so calm about this? We've got to do something. You haven't even seen how hard the last hit. What would be the use of panicking now? If the outcome does not align with the predictions, the first course of action should be to analyze the given data. However, it doesn't seem like our containment measures will be the answer here. Thus, the task of stopping her seems to fall straight onto all of you. Time for us to pay the price of curiosity. Geez, that was quite the cutscene there. Let's see what we can do here. So, I think I just have to let that hit. It's a piercing skill, so...
뭐죠?
피워보지.
God damn it.
정리하겠습니다. 불결한
That did so much damage. I think that might work well. This is really bad.
피워보지. 답이었겠나.
Kinda SOL here.
어두운 무지를 열어줬지라. 직접 열어드리죠.
Yeah, this is going really poorly.
겁날. 내게 닥쳐주지.
왜 안에 갇혀 죽어라.
그 물을 한 모금 마시면서는
듀라디아, 죽도록 달릴 시간이다. 목을 내놓고 있도록.
피어나라.
Yeah, I'm just completely dead here.
칠 수밖에 없는 운명.
Okay, this fight is tough.
여직 운이 좋았던 것뿐이지. 그저 지금껏 우리가 판 땅이 비옥했던 것뿐. 흔들어 보죠.
Let's see what we can do here.
불청객을
열 사냥감을 찾은 건가?
다들 연장 챙기죠.
일인가요? 일인가요?
소재가
의르는군.
마침내 현장 투입인가.
Try something like that, maybe.
피를 머금을 시간이네.
Then let's try this again.
오작 터뜨려주지.
Damn it!
왜 안에 갇혀 죽어라.
Okay, we're doing decently.
목을 내놓고 있도록.
Gonna try to lower sanity even more. God damn it, we just gave her back a ton of sanity.
불편한 점이라도 있으십니까?
Alright, she can tank a blunt attack.
거기구나.
저 밑에서 나를 부르는 물소리가.
I think we just let her take that. Something like that looks good, I think.
어두운 무지를 열어줬지라. 이미 도달했다.
이렇게
직접 밝혀주마.
Oh, thank God we got the stagger off.
어두운 무지를 열어줬지라.
합격장.
여기가 뱃속이군.
Okay, I think that looks decent, maybe.
어두운 무지를 열어줬지라. 당신도 꽂혀보세요. 누군가에게 저주받는 기분이 어떤 것인지.
그 물을 한 모금 마시기 전엔
이젠 찌러. 죽여주마.
이곳은 그분의 초상이요. 가까이서 자세히 보겠는가?
Okay, that looks good.
겁나래. 내게 바쳐주지.
God damn it, Sinclair is throwing. And so is Ji-sung. Cool.
고작 여기서 쓰러진다면 그놈이 날 얼마나 비웃겠나.
점 찍었네.
왜 안에 갇혀
This is a
죽어라.
really rough fight for me right now.
어가 분명히
주라디오. 죽도록 달릴 시간이다. 힘을 내놓고 있도록.
God damn.
모든 걸 걷어들일 순 없었어. 이 전투는 승리할 거야.
And I cannot redirect it to my only ego character. Fucking awesome. Literally everything I can do is hopeless. Man, I just love this.
겁나라. 내게 바쳐주지.
열어드리죠.
해봐라.
요리에 대한 지식은
찾아낼 때까지.
크게 도움이
그 속에서
안 되었나?
그 사람을 볼 수 있는 건가?
Oh, okay, it was a scripted loss. Okay. I thought I just got fucked with RNG there. I have to be the mother to all of them. The family's first. It's... No, my lady. You need to be the mother of anyone here. Here... You are a sinner. Nothing more. Chylli coming in clutch again. I will not blame the blade. I will not place the blame of this incident on anyone, Dante. I understand that no one could have expected this outcome. Given the dearth of intelligence regarding the binding tool the first kindred had gifted to the third sinner. Well then. I hadn't had that much first-hand experience with watching Virgilius fight, but this was certainly the most exhausted I've seen him after a fight. I decided to say nothing and turn the clock. After some time passed. Don Quixote, what happened? Did you lose consciousness? Or did something affect your memory? Manager Esquire, my memories were fine. But I heard something as soon as I removed my shoes. Voices, right? Once again, you have witnessed me. Yes, the voices. So many voices. Voices? The voices of my family. But the blood fiends of La Mancha Land are all... St. Clair trailed off. Every single blood fiend left inside La Mancha Land was killed when the Mason Park collapsed. In other words, most of Don Quixote's lower kindreds were dead. That is... Indeed, that is correct, but I cannot well explain how. The only thing I might explain this is that it was as though my very blood remembered them still. I recognized some of them. Some were voices of those I once deeply cared for. It seems that I was, against my own desire, made to ascend to my father's seat. Perhaps I always was, ever since then. And I was struck not by my own thirst, but the combined thirst of every single one of the children. Thirst. Indeed, I am also bound by that thirst. It is only natural, because I am a blood fiend. Thus, the pressure of it all broke my hold on sanity, and... I hurt you all. As Don Quixote the Blood Fiend, a higher kindred, not as Don Quixote, a sinner and your friend. Don Quixote, this isn't your fault, it's... No, such words are now meaningless. He looked down at her pair of shoes, their strings again neatly tied. The higher office will now be regularly supplying you with artificial blood packs. Hohenheim approached us after spending a while vigorously scribbling something in his notes. The blood substitute will be very similar to real blood in terms of composition, and we won't have any issues with supply. I don't suppose you actually believed that mere willpower would be enough to withstand this urge. I've done quite well suppressing it thus far. Indeed, and that was precisely the wick attached to that ticking time bomb within the LCB. Must I remind you that the soundness of this limiter of yours is quite tenuous, as today's events have demonstrated? Is your implication that the purpose of conducting this reckless experiment was to determine the full extent of the latent danger? I don't know. It seemed like he was only in it to sate his curiosity. Call it merely the auspice of opportune convenience. This risk factor had to be measured sooner or later. Had I known the full extent of the danger she posed, I would have immediately requested a forceful summoning of your department. Of course, as large as the void of unknown was, we are able to fill it with much new information. Certain analyses can be drawn by comparing the reports regarding blood fiends in this very experiment. Let us discuss the thirst he experienced first, for example, the combined desire of every lower kindred. Indeed, it is true. The Manchigan kindreds have been completely eradicated due to the events at La Mancha Land, but you still heard the voices of your children, yes? What are you trying to say? I aim to discuss the powerful binding force contained within blood. LCD's cooperative report explains that blood is not merely a carrier of nutrients, but something more, that it contains certain abstract values as well. We sent in a complaint that the report was far too vague in its wording, and we received a reply their on-site investigative reasoning team leader spat out, the contents of which were equally fascinating. This desire of their kind, this thirst, is something that may as well be imbued and imprinted on the familial bloodline. Normally, the weight of that thirst is far too heavy for any individual to bear, which is why they propagate, to bear the unbearable burden together. But considering that all that desire is now focused onto an individual, on account of the extinction of her entire family line, it is easy to see why her hold on sanity was so easily broken, no matter the strength of her will. He alone was made to bear the responsibility, the pressure, the duty of having to raise the family once again. And because none of those needs are currently met, there comes the endlessly exacerbating thirst, and more thirst. It is quite fascinating to see how your kind preserves these very abstract values in the physical form of blood. The mere words thirst do not is quite the insufficient job of describing the intensity in which you have lost control. That was my oversight, I must admit. I do respect your efforts to be liberated from your nature, I truly do. But I also maintain that it is highly advisable for you to regularly consume the provided blood packets. Understood. But one day, I wish to dismount from Roshinante and walk bare feet and feel the earth under my own skin. I was able to establish one positive fact from this exercise, however. What might that be? That there are those who would, quite literally, throw their lives on the line to stop you, even if you were to take off your shoes. In other words, I don't believe it to be necessary for other departments to exercise any separate control over you. Well, now that I've had a first-hand account of your conditions, I will write the following in the report. Though quite unstable, yet with the effort from the subject herself, and efforts from various other environmental factors, the subject has been deemed sufficiently controllable. Once again, I do respect your efforts. Or any kind of effort, really. Because I've never had much use for it myself. Don Quixote took a deep breath, then turned to face the sinners. By then her eyes had regained their usual softer look. But sorrow was seeping through the tone of her voice. Despite her theatrical manner of speech returning, her tone reminded me of our time at La Mancha Land. My deepest apologies, dearest friends. Forsooth, I shall ever preserve to see that Roshinante, my shoes, are never to be removed again. Lass, you're looking at it all wrong. You're going to remove those shoes one day, yeah? That's what you're going to persevere towards. Verily. I think she let out a brief, quiet laughter. Ah, Manager Esquire. Perchance, is there aught that thou concealest from my knowledge? What do you mean? I don't think so. It's no coincidence that at this very moment, I noticed Strauss looking in my direction. I don't know if I made the right choice here, but Strauss nodded lightly as though to say that I did. I stopped hesitating, and the tick-tocking noises came to a stop. Very well, then. However, I cannot help but admit that I felt some degree of anxiety as I watched Don Quixote walk away, as though nothing had happened.
개운하게 정리됐어요.
Oh man, that was rough.
머리까지 너무 개운해진 것 같은데.
I'm gonna cut here, and I'll be back in a minute to finish up the rest of this intervallo.
아, 그대. 잠시.
So yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, so having played further, this is where I'm going to end this second video. And I will continue on with the third video where I continue further into the event. So I will see you next time when we finish up the rest of the event in the 3rd episode. Until then, I'll see you next time. Bye!